We have a comprehensive report in terms of what happened at COPE in Parliament today, and we have Joel Outschoon standing by at the newsroom to give you this update. Joel, good evening to you.
Good evening, Chaturanga. Thank you very much for that handover. Now, the COPE report has been finally presented in Parliament today. The COPE report confirmed today that the former governor of the central bank, Arjuna Mahendran, is directly responsible of the bond scam. The recommendations of the committee report calls for legal action against Arjuna Mahendran and all other central bank officials who are responsible for the scam.
We investigated the transaction that took place on the 27th of February 2015. The committee notes that according to the evidence presented before the committee and the information that we gathered there, that there is reasonable doubt that the former central bank governor interfered in this process. The committee also notes that there is reasonable doubt that the lack of transparency and the manner in which the transaction was conducted resulted in a betrayal of the trust placed in the central bank. The committee also observed that one primary dealer, Perpetual Treasuries, was able to earn a large profit through the bond transactions that took place during this period. The committee has recommended that action be taken against the central bank officials and institutions involved, as well as take measures to reclaim from the responsible persons the loss or damages caused to the state and the people. We also reiterate that judicial action must be taken against these offences. The former governor of the central bank is directly responsible for the controversial bond transaction, and the committee recommends legal action be taken against him and the other central bank officials involved in this transaction.
COPE recommends that a competent legal authority should investigate the activities of the central bank, as the transactions with Perpetual Treasuries resulted in the betrayal of trust placed in the central bank. It also recommends that an investigation should be conducted into the manner in which Perpetual Treasuries earned a massive profit within a short period of time. The committee, which reminds the central bank that it is their responsibility to uncover whether a financial loss has been incurred, reiterated that the Parliament should intervene directly to ensure that the central bank implements the recommendations of COPE as well as prevents recurrence of such incidents. COPE also notes in its recommendations that it is the Parliament's responsibility to ensure that the government recovers the losses they incurred. The Committee on Public Enterprises also notes that the central bank and other institutions should provide guarantees to implement rigorous mechanisms that will ensure the non-recurrence of such incidents. Appointment of an observer group by the executive to monitor and look back at the manner in which the central bank calls for and awards financial tenders was also another recommendation of COPE. The committee goes on to recommend that priority be given to state institutions when the central bank aims to raise money through bonds, and also calls for the creation of a mechanism to look into the activities of the primary and secondary markets. COPE, through its recommendations, also calls for the guidelines on public debt management to be updated and the amendment of the Exchange Commission Act in order to maintain transparency and trust in the central bank. Chairman of COPE, Sunil Handunnetti, revealed that all members of COPE have agreed on the recommendations of the report. He, however, notes that there is a division among the members along the lines of the report and the report with footnotes. 16 members of COPE have approved the report without footnotes. They are Sunil Handunnetti, Rauf Hakim, Anura Priyadarshana Yapa, Dayasiri Jayasekara, Lakshman Siniviratna, Lasanta Alagiyawanna, Anura Disanayaka, Chandrasiri Gajadira, Mahindananda Alutkamage, Bimal Ratnayaka, Veerakumara Disanayaka, S. Sridharan, M. A. Sumandiran, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, and Nyanamuthu Srinesan. The members of COPE who approved the report with footnotes are as follows: Ravindra Samiravira, Sujeeva Senasinghe, Vasanta Aluvihara, Dr. Harsha De Silva, Ajit P. Pereira, Ashok Abesinghe, Abdullah Mahroof, Hector Puhami, and Harshana Rajakaruna. Incidentally, MP Ranjan Ramanayaka, who is also a member of the Committee on Public Enterprises, has not signed either report.
There is a division with regard to the contents of this report. As the chairman of this committee, in accordance with tradition, I have submitted one report, but there is a clear division. 16 members have signed the report without footnotes, while 9 have signed the report with footnotes.
මන්ත්‍රීවරු 9 දෙනෙක් එකඟ වෙලා තියෙනවා.
The parliamentarian was interrupted when he attempted to speak about activities that took place within the committee.
මේක තමයි බරපතල.
This is a serious issue. There are allegations against me.
චෝදනාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මම කියන්නේ order මම කතා කරන නිර්දේශන සභාපතිතුමනි නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමනි
මේක විවාදයක් නෙමෙයි කරු.
This is not a debate. The people who are clapping have forgotten this. Mahinda Rajapaksa tosses away 30 reports that came during his time. Do you remember this?
මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂගේ ආණ්ඩු කාලේ කෝප වාර්තා 30ක් තිබ්බා. ඒ ඔක්කොම කුණුබක්කියෙන් දැම්මා. කුණුබක්කියෙන් දැම්මා. මතකද?
මට කාරක සභාවේදී
Don't let the injustice that took place in the committee take place in Parliament as well.
As the chairman, you were given the opportunity to present the report and explain your recommendations. I cannot give you the opportunity to let you discuss what happened inside the committee as well.
You are correct. When presenting this report, there is no need to discuss what took place inside the committee as well. However, this is a special circumstance. You would have noticed several days ago we saw media reports stating that the COP chairman walked away from the proceedings. Some had interpreted this as a conspiracy. Some interpreted this as an act of treason. Therefore, I believe that his request to state what happened is justified.
According to tradition, it is not proper to talk about the differences in opinion that cropped up within the committee.
These portions of differences could go even to the extent of being expunged from today's Hansard.
මේ වාර්තාව පරිස්සමෙන් පරිහරණය කරන්න.
Read through this report carefully. There are two fundamental differences between the report and the report with footnotes. I request the people of this country to consider this report and the footnotes carefully and take an intelligent decision.
බුද්ධිමත්ව විනිශ්චය කරන්න කියලා මම මේ රටේ සියලු ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලා හිටිනවා.
Along with MP Sunil Handunnethi presenting the COPE report in Parliament, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed the following comments.
මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිතුමා යටතේ යහපාලන ආණ්ඩුවකට
All this was made possible through the government of good governance under President Maithripala Sirisena. When I was schooling, I read a book by Gunadasa Amarasekara titled Yali Upannemi or Rebirth. These individuals have been reborn and they now remember good governance. We consider this a victory because we have fought a long battle to establish the fiscal power of the Parliament. For 10 years, I fought in Parliament to establish these committees, but you rejected it. Today, this committee has presented its report aimed at an institute which falls under my purview. Let us debate this report after it is printed. Let's send this report to the Attorney General. I have already sent a list of issues to the Attorney General with regard to the central bank. We can gather all we have and get the Attorney General's advice on it. Parliament has secured a victory. As the government of good governance, we are accountable for it. We fought for it in Parliament. At least now, do you accept the leadership of President Maithripala Sirisena? If an inquiry was held into the Greek bonds, then this issue will not arise. This received so much opposition because you thought that we would not allow it. Our main aim is to strengthen Parliament. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should apologize to the people. This chamber has the right to accept this report or reject it. Then it will be sent to the Attorney General and we can decide the future course of action. This Parliament has the power to look into any wrongdoing by a member of Parliament, even us. We did it. We turned rogues into those who follow good governance. The people who stand before you are the sentinels of good governance.
Well, views were also expressed in Parliament over the departure of Arjuna Mahendran from the country.
There are media reports circulating that the former central bank governor Arjuna Mahendran has left the country. We asked the Prime Minister whether this is true or false.
When I met Arjuna Mahendran last week, he said that he will be attending a wedding and that he will return. He hasn't fled the country like Udayanga Veeratunga.
We request the Prime Minister to hold a special debate before the debate on the budget.
We will discuss this during the party leaders' meeting and schedule a day. We are not afraid. Do you remember when Mahinda Rajapaksa threw 30 COPE reports into the garbage? Do you remember when Vijayadasa Rajapaksa was forced out as the chairman?
State Minister Sujiva Senasinghe says that the media organizations that report on the activities of the COPE should be summoned before COPE.
We have one request to make from the chairman. The activities of COPE are not open to the media. I mentioned within COPE that on several occasions there were media reports. You have the power to summon these media institutions before COPE and question them. We have a right to request for something like this.
No, let me finish.
He reacted by stating that it is not our duty to look into media reports and statements made by individuals. In accordance with parliamentary privileges, the COPE committee should summon these institutions and question them.
The leader of the House should be summoned first. He is the individual who made the first statements with regard to COPE. His views were very critical of COPE. We don't have the need to act like political infants. The report has been presented. Now we should decide on what we should do with the recommendations.
Please, sit down, please. Garu.
Order, please.
I stood up in Parliament one day and stated that Sunil Handuneti is not fit to function as the chairman of this committee because he's the first one to organize a media briefing on the bond issue and said that they will prove it.
Okay. Order, please.
Well, now several parties also responded to the statement made by State Minister Sujiva Senasinghe.
The thief is on one side, the money is on the other side. They are leaving all that aside and they are trying to reprimand the media. The media carried out an exceptional task. They took this matter to the public. Now the media too is being threatened because they want to bring them before COPE. They say that the media should be brought before the Committee on Benefits and that they should be brought before Parliament. What is the government doing? What it had to do was to say whether the facts that were reported were right or wrong. We need to tell this to the Prime Minister and his disciples. Do not dip your whole body in a pit of feces and point the finger at the media.
ජනමාධ්‍ය හරහා තමයි ජනතාව දැනගත්තේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ කණ්ඩායම සුජිත සේනසිංහ මන්ත්‍රීතුමා ඇතුළු මේ මහා බැංකු දූෂිතයන් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න.
The public got to know about this through the media. The attempt by the group of UMP MPs, including Sujiva Senasinghe, to protect these scammers and to hijack the COPE was not known even by the media. The UMP members of COPE surrendered because the chairman of the committee worked with a straight backbone and because the media created a public opinion about this. It is not the journalists that should be brought before COPE. It is the UNP members of COPE and the ministers of the UNP who are not in COPE that should be brought before it.
People who made statements like there should be a media culture, there should be no interference in the media, journalists should not be threatened and media institutions should not be set ablaze, while they were in opposition are now acting in a different manner. We condemn the statements made by Sujiva Senasinghe. He said that all the media that reported on the matter should be brought before the law. All I can say is that this is a violation of civil rights.
The legal knowledge of attorney-at-law Sujiva Senasinghe was not used to save the public money of the country. The members of the Footnote clan did not use their knowledge on law and economics to protect the public funds of their country. They always tried to protect the money that was defrauded by Arjuna Mahendran. Do you know what they asked from the Auditor General? They asked whether he was Lord Buddha. That is good governance. They used a number of words that were not suitable.
Well, journalists also questioned the Auditor General when he arrived in Parliament to present his report.
As the Auditor General, you must have been the individual dealing with most amount of pressure and stress over the past few months.
No, that is a wrong opinion. I was not under any pressure. I have done the right thing in the right manner. I have not done anything unnecessary, so I do not face such an issue.
We saw media reports that during the investigation into the bond issue, there were some members who threatened you. Is this true?
I don't believe that I will be doing justice if I simply give you a yes or a no answer concerning incidents that happened over 2 or 3 weeks. The verbatim in relation to this will be revealed in the future. Therefore, I believe it is better to discuss this then.
Meanwhile, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa also expressed his views over the statement made by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe in Parliament today.
This is the work of the pickpocket thief. He always runs away after the crime. I was listening to the statement made during the parliamentary debate. It was said that they were able to bring the rogues into good governance. So they left us out and took the thieves. That means the rogues are with the good governance and they claim that as a victory.
Well, now the joint opposition also commented on the COPE report, convening a media briefing at the parliamentary complex.
It does not matter what the Prime Minister says tomorrow. It is only the Prime Minister who speaks on this. Where are the other ministers who are in charge of finances? For the past 1.5 years, they failed to speak even a single word. We have requested for a debate. We requested that Parliament be summoned before the budget and have at least a 2-day debate on this. We request the President to establish an extraordinary presidential commission and take legal action on this matter. After President Maithripala Sirisena removed the accused Arjuna Mahendran from his position, the Prime Minister appointed this person as an advisor for economic planning, the Megapolis project and on the creation of 1 million job opportunities. When this report was presented to Parliament, it was only the Prime Minister who appeared on behalf of him. When the joint opposition was opposing the Prime Minister, not a single MP stood up and defended him. Therefore, with regard to the bond scam, not only Arjuna Mahendran or perpetual treasuries, but the relationship with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe must also be investigated. That is our stance.
Well, as mentioned on our headlines this evening, it was revealed that Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake had not signed the COPE report. The Deputy Minister also expressed as to why he did not do so.
Ranjan
Ramanayake has not placed his name on either reports. He's in the country and he spoke to me yesterday. He has not supported any report.
He's not opposing, he's absent.
I returned from Japan. The ministry received an invitation from the mayor of Tokyo. I returned last morning. I called the chairperson, Sunil Handuneti, and informed him over the phone of my complete support. He accepted it. I have no political friends. I cannot provide a statement on the footnotes. I think there's a mistake here.
Now, Newsfirst attempted to contact former governor of the central bank, Arjuna Mahendran, in this regard to obtain his response. However, since he is overseas, our attempts proved futile. We would like to say that if Arjuna Mahendran would like to come forward and provide us with an explanation, Newsfirst is ready to give him that opportunity.